As Oklahoma's budget crisis spurs debate over incentives given to businesses, tax credits for the wind industry are in the crosshairs. Opponents say with a $1.3 billion budget hole looming, the state can no longer afford to incentivize wind power, while supporters maintain taking tax credits away sends the wrong message to those looking to invest in Oklahoma.
More than 3,000 wind turbines dot the landscape across Oklahoma. According to the American Wind Energy Association, Oklahoma ranks 4th in the nation for wind power capacity. That makes the industry a ripe target for legislators looking for ways to fill Oklahoma's budget hole. While a bill to place a moratorium on nearly 24 state tax credits failed to get a hearing on the Senate floor, Senate President Pro Tem Brian Bingman suggested the zero-emission tax credit given to the wind industry needs a haircut. The House Appropriations and Budget Committee this week gave a do-pass recommendation to the Zero-Emission Tax Credit Transparency Act. House sponsor Kevin Calvi says that bill does not reduce the credit,
but it is to try to get a better handle on how much is the state foregoing in revenue from some of these credits, and what benefit are the credits providing to the state based on the wind production.
A new group calling itself the Windfall Coalition, reportedly backed by Continental Energy CEO Harold Hamm, claims the cost to the state of wind tax credits outweighs the benefits. According to the group, the zero-emission tax credit will cost Oklahoma $1.3 billion over the next 10 years. Wind Coalition Executive Director Jeff Clark takes issue with those numbers.
The incentives for wind, despite some of the misinformation and misleading numbers that are out there, are very small. The zero emission credit in 2014, which is the last year the numbers are available, $44 million.
Regardless of the cost, State Auditor and Inspector Gary Jones believes it's time credits to the wind industry get a closer look.
The question is, do we continue to give these credits, whether it's wind or some of these other credits that we're giving and the exemptions that we give, or do we actually start funding education in a manner that needs to be funded? I mean, we're hearing, 208 teachers laid off in Oklahoma City Public Schools, and administrative costs, our administrators are going to be laid off next week, and we're seeing this across the state.
Clark points out the industry has already given up a property tax exemption for new wind power developers, and will see the zero emissions tax credit phased out in the next 4 years.
In 2015, in exchange for giving up half of the incentives, we were told 2020, all incentives come to an end. We as an industry said, that's good business, it's good policy, and we support it. And the legislature and the executive, we all congratulated each other on a deal well struck. I hope we'll honor that deal going forward and continue to grow in Oklahoma.
In addition to putting the tax credit on the table, Jones says the wind industry should also be subject to a production tax, similar to the tax paid by oil and gas developers.
I mean, virtually every other industry that produces something in this state pays a tax, but we're saying, well, you're exempt. And while I don't have any problem at all with the production and the development of wind energy, we need to make sure that it works in with what we're doing.
Clark says while the wind industry doesn't pay a production tax at the wellhead, wind energy companies do pay millions in ad valorem taxes.
We pay property taxes at the local level that are based on our income. That's very good for school districts. If they want to raise taxes on other industries, that's fine. They certainly in the Capitol every session arguing why lowering their taxes will spur economic growth. We would argue the same.
The Oklahoma Incentive Evaluation Commission is reviewing tax credits, including those devoted to the wind industry. The commission is scheduled to issue a report on costs and benefits by December 15th.